Say, hey, everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Thanks, everyone, as always, for joining us here on a Monday afternoon. I was about to say morning, but it's more of an afternoon. Appreciate everyone, as always. Like I said, Slow Jams, AOD, thanks in here for the comments. Drop your comments. Let me know what you guys are on. Solo Monday today. Doc, a little caught up with work, so we're doing our thing solo. Got the best chat in the game, so I'm excited to break down this card. 10 games, some interesting pitchers on the bump. I've only had one game that's jumped out at me thus far, so I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. No official bets thus far, but let's get after it. Rocco, my guy, shout out to you. Thank you for watching. AOD, like I mentioned in here, shout out to you, my man. Three Fingers Bouquet in here. It's funny. It makes me laugh every time thinking about, like, how would I ever explain to my mom, like, why do they call you Three Fingers Bouquet? So you just can't understand. You don't understand. Shout out to you, Troy. Jay Smith in here. Let's get after it right now and start off with the game that I am interested in, Dodgers Orioles here. And it's very interesting. We're talking about Grayson Rodriguez's return back to the major leagues, got sent down for a little bit to kind of figure it out. Got called up early this year, struggled, had I think he had like a 7.5, almost an 8 ERA in his starts here. Now he's back, and the line's been moving steadily his direction. Last night, minus 109 for the Orioles. Now we've got a minus 117 here, and let's hit up the market first before we do anything else. And as I've got to find it here, shout out to me for, I guess, being a lemming and wanting all the first iOS updates, which means you have to get all the bugs as well. So obviously sometimes the new system shuts down Safari for whatever reason, so we got to bring it back up, but we're up and running now. And this is what is admittedly got me interested in the Orioles. Like I mentioned, minus 109 last night, all the way up to minus 117. Let me give you a refresh look at Bovada. So I want to double check here. Now it's down to minus 110 each way. Very interesting. Very interesting here. We've got the minus 110, 10 is a total, excuse me there. We also have 72% of the bets and 68% of the money on Los Doyers there as well. So, that's interesting because I wanted the Orioles this whole night or this whole time, and I was a little concerned about betting against all that money. But it was being more confident with all the money and the line moving towards the Orioles. But that has now no longer been the case here. So it seems like I will pass here. Sharpie, I appreciate your offer, but don't worry. I'm just going to do a quick show here. It's only 10 games, so don't you worry, my guy, but I appreciate you. Shout out to Preston Ekdahl, by the way, who had a great weekend at the card show. He, Jeff, Victor, Cash, all cashed as a shout out to Cash there, no pun intended, but all cashed out on their cards, and you should go watch that video right now on the YouTube channel. I watched it. It was a good time watching Jeff and Cash just make 20K just like that. It was shocking. So go watch and see how they did that as well. Rocco dropping his same game parlay, first 5 over in the Dodgers, first 5 plus 2.5 at minus 120 there. That's a very interesting way to do it there. Very interesting. Corey Allen saying lean over, first 5 over as well here. And by the way, fresh fade Jose means money. Shout out to you, Jay Smith. I appreciate you, my guy. Yes, Troy was saying, a big U-shaped movement here on the Orioles here. And it seems like it's going to give me the pass here. Dodgers 5th best against righties, 112 weighted runs created plus, while the Orioles are 9th, 109. But the Orioles will still find a way to just keep on winning. And it's shocking to see them just keep rolling. But glad I've been one of the things I've been right about this year was talking up the Orioles. So at least I've got that in my back pocket. Totals wise here, 75% of the bets and 51% of the money on the over here. So it's very interesting that you've got big bets on the under, expecting both of these young pitchers to pitch well. Grayson, we'll talk about real quick, like we've mentioned before. He's making his return to the majors. His last couple of MILB starts, three innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 3 Ks, 3 walks, 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 12 Ks, no walks, a big outing there, and 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, only one of them earned on a home run, 8 Ks and 1 walk there. Emmett on the other side, it's kind of the same story with him and Grayson when they came up. Emmett had his first dominant start of the year. It was like a 6 innings of perfect game. I forget if he walked anyone, but it was no hits for sure. And then the last 2 outings he's had 3 2/3, 4 hits, 5 earned runs there against the Pirates and against the Rockies, which is at the Rockies not bad. 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs there, and a 14-3 win for Los Dodgers there. I will probably be betting or probably be passing here. By the way, Troy Torrance is on both first 5 full game. And like I said, I might pass on this game. I said I was probably passing, but I'm a little hesitant on the Orioles here. I've liked them here today. Now I'll see if I can find any more action here today, but we'll talk about all of this as well, and it'll be very interesting as well. Jeffrey Blue asking about why they're bringing up Grayson on this spot. I just think they need starters, and his last couple of starts have been solid, so I believe in him. Obviously, it's a tough start. That's a tough spot to bring him up here. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Jeffrey Blue. But I'm expecting him to pitch well here. And by the way, Rocco's on first 5 full game overs there. Very interesting. Yes, so there it is. And yes, Ramos, the pass has happened here. So I've got nothing on this game right now. This is my only 2 leans towards the Orioles, but that line movement keeping me away. Let's go to game 2 here. Battle of 2 young pitchers in Xzavion Curry versus Quinn Priester, as we're going with. Quinn Priester is what I'm assuming his name is. First round pick in 2019. Number 53 overall prospect in baseball in that top 100. The Pirates, Reds, and the Orioles will just keep bringing these guys up because they're all competitive now. And they're going to, it's funny. It's like the Reds. Whenever something negative happens in their season, like they get swept by the Brewers, like, just break glass in case of an emergency. Let's call up another prospect. And then that's what they did with the guy whose name is fucking long as fuck. And I forgot his name already, but his name on his jersey looks hilarious. But Quinn Priester is the Pirates version of that now. They definitely needed the starting pitching. His last couple of starts in the minors have been solid. He was very last start in the minors. He only went 1 inning. And I think I saw that they pulled him, and then they told him right after they pulled him after that 1 inning, it's like, hey, they're calling you up. So it was a big thing in the dugout. So shout out to that guy. I was very interested to see how that goes before him here. 7 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, no walks in his last full start. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 11 Ks, 2 walks there. And Corey Allen bringing up an excellent point here. Rain in the forecast for this game. And according to RotoWire, as I'll refresh it here, RotoWire has this game in red and the game in Cincinnati in red. So keep that in mind here. This game might not go here. I had nothing on it, but I was admittedly interested in an under. The Guardians get swept by the Rangers in a disappointing fashion, and all those Rangers fans are all over me now, unfortunately. But Guardians offense against righties this year, just 22nd. This is absolutely a softer landing spot, like my guy Jeffrey Blue was saying. For him compared to the Dodgers, but I haven't gotten there yet. Have not gotten there yet. I don't know with any action. I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the chat. Market wise, and let's start off with the money line here. Earlier in the day, there was a lot of love for the Pirates here, but it's kind of evened out. 42% of the bets on the Pirates, 52% of the money on them. So even that initially with some early heavy action on the Pirates, more maybe public money have come on the Guardians. We'll see how that goes. And for the total here, under Palooza, 77% of the bets, 93% of the money on the under there as well. So very interesting notes to talk about in this game. And I don't know about you guys, Action had this game opening at 9.5, and it seems like it's dropped down to 9. I will check on another site here because luckily, I've found another site to track money movements, and it makes it a little more interesting, and I'm interpreting it every day a little differently. But Bovada, according to this site, had and this is totals here. There we go. I would love to see your. Yeah, it seems like it stayed at the same spot that whole time for this place. It's very interesting that they'd have the total uh, and all this money is on that under. It's very interesting. So, by the way, Nut Flush Allen joining us. Shout out to you, Nut Flush. It sounded like you guys had a great day the other day. I need to pull up the picture, but Nut Flush had everyone, everybody, fucking at his house. And I was trying to think. I'm trying to pull up the picture as I look here, as well. So it's very funny here. There we go. Nut Flush. And by the way, I love that Nut Flush's Twitter header is him and Jimmy. It was looks like Emilio, Noli, Guillermo, DJ Big Boss, fucking Jimmy Gomez, Jimmy, and fucking Paco Healy all there. It was a beautiful time there. Nut Flush. Let us know if there are any good stories there coming out of that thing. But I can imagine how crazy that was. So that's very good. It's very good there, but no action here for me. Let us know, No Flush, how that went for you. Rain in the forecast in this game, rain in the forecast in our next game, Giants Reds. Logan Webb, Brandon Williamson. It's tough because the Reds, everyone's America's darling team the last couple of weeks. They're starting to bring up their prospects to see they can, because they obviously feel they can compete in a shitty division. But the Reds' schedule here in the next couple of weeks is pretty brutal. And obviously the Giants are no joke, especially with Logan Webb, who's been pitching phenomenally. And, admittedly, he's kind of a home road splits guy. Home, a 2.02 ERA. On the road, a 4.24 ERA. So I don't typically want to bet against him. And if I am, I'm going to bet against him on the road here, but not with this Red squad right now, unfortunately. Full season, 95 weighted runs created plus against righties. Let's see how they respond after getting swept by the Brewers here. I'll be interested. Let's see the chat has to say, as always here. Sterling Gentry saying Giants full game run line as well. Shout to you there. And Mr. Rocco Rogers, Giants -1, -125. Webb has been that dude for him. I know it's on the road, but he pitches great here. I can see it. I mean, obviously, Logan Webb is fucking great. Slow Gems mentioning that since he's going into a slump, yeah, I can easily see why. Their schedule's about to get really brutal for them here, and obviously they're a young squad still. So let's see how that goes. The Nut Flush Allen in here, like we talked about, and he's a Giants whisperer, as everyone knows here. He said, had that team total cap perfectly yesterday. They had 3 runs going into the 9th inning. Nut Flush, as always, let us know what you have here today. I mean, I hate saying the P word so much, but I have no bets on this game. I've got nothing really interested here. And yes, of course, I remember that last gem for fucking Brandon. I keep calling him Brandon Webb, Logan Webb. 9 innings completo against the Rockies at home. 7 hits, no earned runs, 10 Ks, 0 walks as well. Last time before that, he pitched again dominantly against the Seattle Mariners. 6 2/3, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 11 Ks, 2 walks there. Yeah, I mean, Logan Webb has always been one of my guys, one of my favorite pitchers, honestly. As well. And by the way, DJ Big Boss hosted that as well. That's beautiful. I love to hear that. It was DJ Big Boss's place. I can only imagine the kind of other people that were there, Nut Flush Allen. I mean, by that, I mean the women that were there. I'm sure there were a lot of golden girls out there doing their thing with DJ Big Boss. So shout out to him. I can't get there here, but Logan Webb is one of those dudes that I when I watch him pitch and he gets touched up, I'm always confused at how it happens. It's because he's just so fucking good. His stuff just looks disgusting. But I've got nothing here. Market-wise, to start this off, or to conclude this, I guess I should say, 65% of the bets and 65% of the money on the Reds. That's kind of not really surprising to me because, again, they're more of a public squad here. And we've got a pretty nice ticket split for something I'd like betting, unders. I've had more success on betting unders and totals recently than sides, and I've kind of got away from that in the second half. So we'll start. This only been like 2 days, so we'll see how that goes. But 35% of the bets and 61% of the money on the under here, and it just seems appealing. Seems like they think Brandon Williamson can dice up the Giants here. And I can see it. They're 24th against lefties, 93 weighted runs created plus. You think that Webb will go out there and shove? So I could see an under here, and I'd be very interested in it. So I've marked that first 5 under down, and I'll be very intrigued at that at the end of the show here. And by the way, Spenny Penny getting the name that I could not remember is Christian Encarnacion Strand, which is all on the back of his jersey and like a fucking U. So I'm going to be very, very interested in this. Is first day up. So very interesting. And shout out to Spenny, a good RBI prop there. Plus 210. Plus 210. So there we go. Damon, you should have pushed your anniversary thing dinner. But we appreciate you, Damon, Hector in the chat joining on Facebook. Shout out to you, Hector. My guy, appreciate you, even though you have no idea what we're talking about, Hector. But I appreciate you for watching. Next game, Marlins, Cardinals. What an interesting line this was. I saw this as an opener of Marlins at even money. And everyone that's in the baseball chat that we're all in kind of put that in the chat. I was like, Marlins at even money against the Cardinals. What? And I didn't make the bet because I thought it was a fishy line. I was like, maybe if it's this same bet or same line tomorrow, then we can bet the Cardinals and see if that's the trap line. But no. This line has flipped almost entirely here. Marlins now minus 113 with Jesus Luzardo on the bump going to the Cardinals and Miles Mikolas. And admittedly, Miles Mikolas is probably the Cardinals pitcher or starting pitcher that I don't want to fade. Him and Flaherty have both been pitching well as of late. Both probably will be. Well, I don't know about Mikolas. I don't know what his contract thing is, but I expect Flaherty to be gone out of there. Mikolas's last couple of starts, he had a 3-inning no-hit performance against the Nationals, which I assume got rain delayed, so that's why I only threw 3 innings. His other starts, 7 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 6 Ks, no walks, and a 3-0 win against the White Sox there at the White Sox. And at the Miami Marlins, who he's faced already, this was earlier in the year, 6 1/3, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 Ks, 2 walks, and a 5-4 victory against the Marlins here. Let's talk about Jesus, baby Jesus, a.k.a. Jesus Luzardo, a.k.a. Baby Jesus. Shout out to him on Twitter. He's been one of my guys that I've enjoyed watching pitching. It's obviously because he's from Venezuela, and it's obviously because he's a lefty. But he's just one of those guys, that I enjoy a lot. 6 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs on a home run, 9 Ks, 1 walk for him last time out against the Phillies. He also went against the Cardinals this year as well in a 15-2 victory as well. So he was cruising in that game, if you guys remember. 6 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 8 Ks, 2 walks there as well. And I'll admit it, that gigantic line movement towards the Marlins has me thinking, do I just take the Marlins now? Do I take it at a much shittier price? I'm losing all that value, and it's keeping me off of it. And let's go to the market here, because that'll explain why that line has moved so dramatically. And I'm not really surprised by it. 85% of the bets and 73% of the money on the Miami Marlins here. Just kind of everyone out on the Cardinals. And, this could be one of those spots where maybe the Marlins fold up offensively. Miles Mikolas does his thing, but I just couldn't get there, unfortunately. So I've got nothing on this game yet, but I'm absolutely looking at the Marlins here, but just a shittier price, and the money numbers are concerning to me. All right, let's go through the chat real quick before we move on. Jake Burns, Spin Doc is on Mondays. He just caught up with some work here today, and he unfortunately couldn't join us. Hopefully he'll be back this next Monday, but he is unfortunately just busy with some work stuff today, unfortunately. Spenny dropping a little Nolan Arenado home run. Shout out to you, my dude. Troy Torrent saying intentional line movement to trap sharps on the Marlins. Very interesting. Jack Rosenblatt saying Cardinals are pass. Very interesting as well there. People looking at the Cardinals. Thought you guys would be all over the Marlins. Robert Franklin on the Marlins money line. Troy saying he thinks the Cardinals win. Very interesting. And by the way, Slow Jams Arsenal, shout out to you, my man. Yeah, it seems like betting the AL East against every other division just seems like a good bet. 4-1 apparently. So shout out to you, my man. And Spenny Penny just dropping good nuggets in there for the RBI props and such. Jesus Sanchez. plus 165. We know Mike Gamm has been making a killing in RBI props. Something I've noticed picked up a little bit more this year. So, yeah, agreed there. Jack Rosenblatt, you're speaking the truth. The books aren't giving away free money there, and it's it seems like everyone betting the Cardinal or betting the Marlins for a reason. So I will pass here. Brad Summersell dropping a first 5 under here as well. Let me talk about the totals or the market in the total here real quick. Kind of the same thing as the money line here, but everyone on the under in this case. 72% of the bets, 81% of money on the under there. And, again, according to Action, is open at 8, stayed in 8. So very, very interesting there. RVD 420 also dropping that first 5 under 4.5 as well. Thank you, Captain Chaos. I appreciate the compliments. I don't get many of those compliments, Captain Chaos, so I appreciate all the ones that I get. But I've got nothing in this game, unfortunately. I guess at the end of the day, I'm passing here. I respect some of my guys in the chat dropping, that think this is a trap for the card or for the Marlins here. Yeah, I'll just pass. And I lean under 2 with you guys. The offensive, this is obviously the Cardinals, who are 14th best against lefties this year, 106 weighted runs created plus, versus the Miami Marlins, 20th against righties, 92 weighted runs created plus. And we talked about that at the beginning of the year. They kill lefties, murder them. But righties, they struggle with, it seems. So always trying to bet the Marlins against a lefty and try to avoid them against a righty, essentially. Next, the other game that I thought was very interesting line-wise. I thought we would, and maybe I'm a biased asshole because everyone knows that I'm anti-Rangers this year, and we're talking Rays-Rangers here, but I saw Shane McClanahan, best pitcher in baseball by my money, line up, and it was minus 125 last night, and I was like, oh, that's a lot of respect for Dane Dunning and the Rangers. I understand how good they are. They're coming off a sweep off the Guardians. I lost every bet I put on that series, and I really want to back the Rays here, but I'm a little gun shy. That line was minus 123 last night, now up to minus 130 here. And Dane Dunning is, his record's a little deceiving because obviously the Rangers offense gives them all the run support in the world and gives them a pretty good record, but you just look at his game logs. It's nothing that really impresses you. The best start he's had in the last couple of weeks was against my Red Sox. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, and a 6-2 victory. Red Sox team that's been pretty good as of late, too. So I respect that. But, against the Nationals, last time out, 5 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, and a 7-2 loss there. I think that's the Dane Dunning that we'll see in the second half here. And you guys know I've not had any faith in the Dane Dunning or the Rangers this whole year. But I've not moved on the Rays yet, and I am a little worried about backing a pitcher off the IL. It's Shane McClanahan coming off a back injury. We remember his last 2 starts as well because his first bad start, we came out early with the back, and we were all like, oh, is he going on the IL, et cetera, et cetera. Then they bring him back, and we're like, oh, there's no way they would bring him off the IL or wouldn't pitch him if he wasn't healthy. And they did, shockingly enough. They throw him out there. He wasn't complete 100%, comes out with a back injury. They put him on the IL, rested. It was good timing because he didn't have to miss that many games because of the All-Star break, and now he's back kind of immediately. So ultimately, I obviously do lean towards the Rays here. I'd take them -1 perhaps or lay the juice. But I want to talk about the market here first, and then we'll get to everyone's comments to get a bigger picture on this. Wow, it's an interesting market. Everyone kind of split on this game, it seems. 50-50 ticket split, 55% of the bets on the Rangers and 48% of the money on them. So kind of tough to decipher there. Nothing we're really doing there totals-wise. And it seems like everyone since the All-Star break, just a lot of under money on these Rangers games as well. 61% of the bets, 62% of the money on the under there. Let's look at the comments. Let us know what you guys think. Yeah, I know. Christopher Commentini, Rays throwing out injured pitchers? No way. They kind of are a factory for injured pitchers. They don't give a fuck. They throw you until your arm falls off. Jack Rosenblatt looking at Rangers team total over 4. I don't hate that as well. By the way, Gerald Jones just took Grayson Rodriguez over 2.5 earned runs. I don't hate that either, actually. It's a good look. The market's saying under. That'd be my concern, but I don't hate how you're going about that. Gerald Jones, Jake Burns on Rangers first 5. Londo begging for a 3-leg parlay. Maybe we can help you out here today, Londo. But I don't think anything will top your birthday pick, my man. Which I know you did say thank you to, but I would like another thank you. I will be honest, but I'm just busting your balls, Londo. Don't worry. And Nuffle is saying, should have put a Pub Sports bet on yesterday. The over/under on joints, rolls, and bottles empty. That over on both would have been just astronomical. Just put it at 25 and watch it soar up throughout the whole year. So very interesting. Let's go. Let me see here. I want to keep rolling over or keep reading the chat. And he said, yes, Troy said he'd take the over on the joints 100%, 1000% there. Markel's going to church. Yeah, I'm going to fucking church on this game too. It seems like in this game, I want the Rays bad here, but I don't want to back a pitcher coming off the IL. And the Rays on the road this year, I think they're 25-21. I need to refresh my MLB standings page real quick to make sure that is accurate. But they're obviously worse on the road. They are, 25-21 on the road, and a fucking astronomical 35-15 at the Trop this year. So, and the same thing kind of goes for the Rangers too. At home, 30-18, 25-21 on the road. So I'll pass, and I'll keep looking at that Rangers record against teams above 500, 24-22. I'll keep looking at it, and I'll be very interested to see how that develops here. Rays or nothing here for me, and it seems like it's going to be nothing for me. Shout out to Perky Sanderson in here as well. Perky, by the way, I know you've asked for that Discord link, and I don't have the ability to send it to you. I'll have to ask my guy Big Show to send it to you because I think you have to be like an admin to send an invite. I'm not sure, but I'm not on there too much. But we do have a Discord, and I'll try to get that for you, my guy Perky. Markel in here as well took a stab at the Orioles first 5 plus a half. RVD 420s likes the Rangers over here. And by the way, Rocco saying, I'm literally only trying to back the pitcher coming off and nothing past first 5. So that's very funny, not trusting the bullpen as well. And by the way, he's on first 5 minus a half for the Orioles as well. Okay, let's move on here. Next game on our slate here, and no official action yet. I will go over my list of plays. Maybe this just might be like a 1 or 2 play day. Who knows? But we'll talk about it there at the end of the program. Cubs Nationals next time up. Gore versus Drew Smiley here. These guys, these teams have faced each other, and this is very matchup. Actually, I thought that was very interesting, and I thought it was even more interesting that Drew Smiley just went out there and shoved. Honestly, I wrote it down and I look at it and it just takes some like getting used to. I'm like, damn, he really did that, huh? 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run off a home run, 2 Ks, no walks, and a 5-1 victory against the Nationals and against Mackenzie Gore, who on the other side went 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs off a home run, 4 Ks, 2 walks. There, he was a minus 128 last time, and that was on the road. Now they bumped him up to minus 142. And, honestly, I lean over in this game because we've talked about the Nationals against lefties before. Surprisingly good against lefties. That's their better hitting side, 12th, 108 weighted runs created plus in the first half. While the Cubs kind of do the same thing. I mean, basically the same exact thing. They're 107 weighted runs created plus against lefties on their own. 13th best in the league. So they're right there beside each other. Not good enough to, be juggernauts, obviously, but good enough to put some respect on their name and make you consider betting it over. Absolutely. And, again, it's not like these are original thoughts, unfortunately, because the market is it's crazy on this game as well. 87% of the bets and 96% of the cash on the fucking over. It's just crazy to see that. And let's look at the line movement here real quick. I'd be excited to see the line movement on the over because this allegedly opened at an 8, and it's just gone skyrocketed up. It opened at 8 in the morning last night, or I should say this morning, and it just kept going up, and it went 8.5, 40 minutes after it opens, and then 2 hours after that, it goes to 9. So all that money on the over has pushed this. If you got the earlier numbers, and shout out to you, but I just I can't get there with losing a whole run of value, unfortunately. So, and by the way, great note by Spenny. I knew Spenny would have a good notes on this game with all that money on being on the over and that total moving. He's going to be on props galore in this game, I'm sure. Wind blowing out to center at Wrigley Field, 16% chance of home runs in here. He has Lane Thomas and Christopher Morel, RBI for Lane, home run for Morel there as well. So shout out to you guys. Rocco dropping a Gore Gore over 5.5 Ks. Nats first 5. Luis Garcia home run at plus 1025. Good God. No, I don't think any one person besides like fucking Nicky Lopez should have a plus 1,000 home run at any bait. That's fucking crazy there as well. That is nuts. All right, I like the over here, but I can't take it with a run loss of value, unfortunately. So I'll pass there. Shout to you, Nasty Nate, my man. Hopefully I see you in September for Rangers Red Sox. I'm going to be very interested to see that game because I'm the number one Rangers hater, obviously, now. So it'll be very interesting. By the way, Jack Rosenblatt, great note here. Bellinger first home run, plus 1,200. Cashed it the other day at 1,400. Dude loves his lefties. Jack, I want to look that up real quick. I would love to see what Cody Bellinger is hitting against lefties this year real quick. And don't feel like this is putting you on the spot or anything. I'm just very curious. Versus lefties, Jude. Oh my gosh, you are 100% right about this, Jack. Versus lefties this year, Cody Bellinger, 342 average, 6 home runs. Shockingly enough, he has more RBIs against righties, but I guess that's just more games. He has 42 games against lefties, 73 plate appearances against them. Or should I say at-bats, because you know how walks go, but only 11 strikeouts and 6 home runs. It's very interesting. He has 6 home runs against righties too, but just 59 games. So yeah, a little Cody Bellinger here today. I could see that. I would love to see his props. I obviously don't bet props very often, but maybe this is a very interesting one that we should take advantage of here. And I'll look up Baseball Savant as well, because I would love to see if our guy has faced Mackenzie Gore, the former Dodger, and I'm sure he has. He has indeed. Cody Bellinger, 3 plate appearances, 2 at-bats technically, 1 hit, a strikeout in the other one there, and it was just a single, no home runs or anything against him, and that's 3 plate appearances. But I can see it. That the familiarity is there, 100 for sure. So I'm very interested. And his hits, by the way, is over a half is at minus 205. So I'm immediately interested. In some player props here. What about RBI for Mr. Cody Bellinger at plus 155? Plus 155. Very interesting. And Spenny's saying he's plus 625 for a homer straight up. Well, all right. We've done all this research. Let's not let it go into vain. I will bet a player prop that, obviously the chat has helped me got on, but a player prop nonetheless. Cody Bellinger, RBI at plus 140 or plus 155. That'll be my thing here. I watched him hit as well against my Red Sox. He hit a home run or 2, I believe. And he just was not bad at all, especially because we threw lefties against him as well. So RBI at plus 155. I will bet that at the end of this program. Look, Dave, appreciate you. A job interview? No, this is just my Liverpool shirt I'm wearing. And Dave, great timing, because we've got 123 people in the chat. Hit the like button while we're here. We're officially midway through the show, so I'll be happy to announce that our guy fucking Dave and Dabby have finally scheduled, and they are premiering the Unmuted Mic this week. This week, the Unmuted Mic comes out. Cab and Dave featuring Miss Natasha Tush, who I'm sure was an excellent interview. They talked to the OF fan or OnlyFans model, I should say, about a variety of different topics, I'm sure. That premieres on July 20th, this Thursday, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, whatever that is Pacific time. Dave would know better than me because you guys know I don't do math. So that'll be a whole lot of fun. Dave and Cab together doing their thing. So shout out to you, Mr. Picks from Dave. I'll plug that again at the end of the show, but we appreciate you guys for watching our programs, hitting the like button. Go show some love to Dave and Cab on Thursday evening. All right, next game. Another game that I was, oddly interested in. Oddly interested in betting the Tigers here against the Royals. What a dumpster fire game this is. Whenever these two AL Central teams play, it's just like turn off the TV. I want nothing to do with it. But I love watching Jordan Lyles lose. I don't know what it is. And he's been pitching really well. And it's just the record is hilarious. 1-11 just makes me chuckle every time I pull it up. But he's been pitching well. Can't really take anything away from him. His last start, 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, a home run, 5 Ks, no walks, and a 6-1 loss against the Guardians. He pitched really well. Still got the L there. Well, didn't take the L, but still the team lost it for him. At the Rays before that, 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 Ks, 1 walk. And, of course, that's the game that they win. And I'm pretty sure that was a Shane McClanahan game, too, as well, a 9-4 victory. Both these teams are the worst 2 teams against righties. 20th and 30th this year against righties. So obviously this is a game that screamed under to me here, but bad pitching does not beat bad hitting. I will very much say that. Let's talk about Matt Manning, who has just been good. He's been everything you've probably wanted as a Tigers fan coming off an injury. And, I had to remind myself, of this. Remember that the Tigers threw a no-hitter? Who forgot about that? And that was like last week, because I already fucking forgot about that no-hitter from the Tigers. 6 2/3, no hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks, 3 walks against the Blue Jays in that no-hitter effort for the Tigers there. Before that, at Colorado, a respectable Colorado start, 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs there for Matt Manning, and a 14-9 victory there as well. I'm with the chat. At least with Jake Burns, I like the Tigers here on this side. -125 opener has popped up to -130 here. Let's talk about the market here. 62% of the bets and 58% of the money on Los Tigres there, and the line has moved their way. Totals wise here, everyone thinking the under and everyone betting the under, but it's like slight movements, or I guess slight market moves, or whatever you want to call it, to the over. There was just a little less, but 25% of the bets and only 9% of the money on the over. 91% of the money on the under there. 75% of the bets just screaming under. But I don't know. It seems like those obvious under games seem to go over. I'll tell you that. Now let's talk about the line movement here, and let's look at it from our friends at Bovada. Our friends at Bovada is popping it up as well. They opened it up as a 9.5 here. Very interesting. And by the way, let me double check this on Bovada right now, because this is on Bovada. This is a 9.5. Yes. So it's very interesting. They're moving that up with all that money on the over, all that money on the under. It opened yesterday at 9.5 at even money. Immediately goes to 9 at -120. Just kind of goes back and forth between 9.5 and 9. It was last time it was at 9 at 454. It was at over 9 at -125, and it's now over 9 at over 9.5. Excuse me, at +105. So it's always been kind of juiced at mid kind of point this day at 216. It was at over 9 -115. That was probably the time to bet it. But again, with all of that money on the under here, thinking that these teams aren't going to hit these bad pitchers, I still think this game kind of goes over. And I typically don't want to bet overs, especially with these two shit bum teams and the two worst hitting righty teams as well. But I'm interested in the over here. And I'll write that down here, and we can come back to it at the end of the program here. But Detroit, Kansas City over, and we'll talk about our first 5 or full games here. But it looks like I'm leaning over 9 there, full game. Let's check our friends at Bet Online, who, if you guys have not heard, go sign up for a website, or go sign up on our website, pubsportsradio.com. You can go get a Bet Online account that you can see the links. You can see our show. If you go in there right now, you'll see my lovely face talking right now. Comment along there. It's a great place to hang out. We've got all the odds, or should I say, we have all the picks from all of our cappers on the shows and everything there as well. You sign up for an account, 100% deposit match up to $1,000 there. Not 25%, 100% up to $1,000 when you sign up for a Bet Online account using our website there. So shout out to them. All right. I am moving on here. By the way, our friends at Bet Online have an over 9 still at -123. So that's very interesting to me there as well. But let's go on. We've talked too long about this game. Let's talk about a last place squad in the New York Yankees versus the Angels here. And boy, oh boy, I was surprised to see this line. I thought the Yankees might be favored here, but no. Griffin Canning getting the love here, and you guys know how this is. The Yankees have been horrible. The Yankees have just been a dog shit, coming off one of their worst losses of the year, one of the 2 worst losses of the year, getting walked off by the fucking Rockies. Just bad ball by the Yankees, and their offense is shit. And at least Luis Severino arguably has been one of their most disappointing, if not their most disappointing pitcher, coming off of back-to-back 7 earned runs, both actually 7 earned run, and his one previous to the Baltimore start, St. Louis, gave up 9, and only 7 of them were earned. Just bad. And both those 2 starts are coming off of a 6-inning shutout performance against the fucking Rangers of all people, which is hilarious. But there's just no chance I can bet the Yankees right now. Could I see Luis Severino going out there and pitching well after 2 7 earned runs performances? Yeah, I could. I could see this game being a first 5 under type game, because the Yankees aren't going to hit. They're horrible. They're 21st in the league against righties this year, and they've had Aaron Judge for a little bit in the beginning of the year to boost their numbers. And you know, I've heard many people say this, but if one of your players goes down and your team just fucking falls apart after that, your team wasn't that good anyways. So I really want nothing to do with the Yankees here. And the Angels, let's talk about the Angels, who I wanted to fade at all costs right now. They've obviously lost all their guys. They're kind of in free fall. They get a nice win against the Astros, but then follow it up by fucking blowing a gigantic lead to them in last night's game against them. And then they had a chance to win the game in the 9th, and Kyle Tucker steals their soul. So I want nothing to do with this game at all. This was one of those games I crossed off immediately. I understand that the Angels are 4th against righties this year, but I think that number might be a little inflated, especially with how their lineup is hitting. But if anything here, if gun to head here, I'm taking the Angels. Rocco Rogers on Angels first 5. Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 bases and his home runs there. I just could not get there at the end of the day with this game. So I pass on this game. EQ leans Angels first 5. Robert Franklin leans over 9 there. Okay, I can see it. Let's talk about the market before we move on from this game. Market-wise for the total here, 86% of the bets and only 58% of the money on the over. Big bets on the under in this game is very interesting. And I'd like to see how the line has moved on this total, because we have a 9 right now according to the the website I'm using, and it's been 9 the whole time. Kind of Bovada just stayed at 9, and there's big bets on the under. That's interesting. I'd lean under, I guess, after that. But let's talk money line wise here. Unsurprisingly, 66% of the bets and 91% of the money on the Angels. The line has kind of dropped too, according to Action, -140 opener, now down to -133, which obviously keep your hands up for that. But yeah, I want nothing to do with this game either. So we move on. Next, Minnesota, Seattle. and our second to last game here. Great pitching matchup. Logan Gilbert versus Sonny Gray. Again, I said this on the last show, but if the Cardinals again, they've not been here before. It's hard to be a team that's been in first place forever, and then you have a season in last place. You don't know what it's like. But if these fucking St. Louis Cardinals can't clean up their fucking act, I saw the rumor the other day that the Cardinals were interested in trading for Logan Gilbert and Jack Flaherty might be a part of the deal. Shut the fuck up, Cardinals. We know that was you guys trying to plant that seed to try to get Logan Gilbert, a cost control pitcher for a guy leaving in free agency next year. The stupidest rumor I've ever seen in my life. That was just downright atrocious how bad that was. So Cardinals front office, get better at leaking rumors to begin with. Now let's talk about Logan here because he's just been on a tear in his last two starts. Last start against the Astros, who we aforementioned, they needed a big series from them. The Mariners did against the Astros. They got it. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run against them. Logan Gilbert did in a 3-1 victory there. 6 Ks, no walks. And the Astros, a team that kind of gets to him historically too. So shout out to him. And that was coming off of a complete game, which I typically don't like backing pitchers after a complete game. He goes 9, 5 hits, no earned runs, 7 Ks. No walks there. So, it's interesting. This game does kind of scream under, but a 7? A 7 is a little aggressive there, especially when you've got the Minnesota Twins, 12th best against righties, 104 weighted runs created plus. 16th best against righties are the Mariners, and we've talked about how fucking brutally average their offense is, just average. But 7's a little aggressive, and Robert Franklin is hitting on what I would bet in this game if I had to make a bet. First 5 under 4 there is a little more palatable to me here. But let's talk about the market. This game, 54% of the bets and 85% of the money on the under there. It's not really moved, which is not surprising. Gerald Jones actually says he's got a 7.5 at BetMGM. Yeah, this one, this might be a ye old trap, it seems like, or not like a trap, it's per se, but it might be one of those things where you got 2 good pitchers and the obvious play just seems like the under, but it might go over in this game. So, I respect Sonny Gray and his abilities here. He went back-to-back against the Orioles, which is never a good position you want to be in as a pitcher. He got crushed in his second start against the Orioles, 6 innings, 6 hits, 6 earned runs there. He's a guy that doesn't go through the order more than 3 times around, too. Is it 2 or 3? I forget now what they do with him. But so it's kind of another spot where you could kind of figure that he gets crushed by the Orioles after that second appearance. His first one against them, 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 7 Ks, 3 walks. I think that Sonny Gray, first time seeing a team is detrimental for their offense. So very interesting. By the way, Jack Rosenbell saying on Sports Betting Dime, he's seeing 65% of cash on the over there. So it's very interesting. A little difference between that place and the action where, like I mentioned, 54% of the bets and 85% of the money on the under there. So it's very interesting as well. So I don't know. As Jimmy said back in the day, I can only hint at their reputability because I pay for them, and if I pay for them, then they give me good numbers. But I don't know. So we'll see. Shout out to the Money Liner becoming a member of the Pub Club. Shout out to you, my man. Welcome. We appreciate your support. And we appreciate all the support you do on watching this program, Moneyliner. If you're watching silently in the chat, hitting the like button, can't ask for anything else, my man. So shout out to you. Let us know what you're in the chat. Let us know what you're on in the chat is what I'm trying to say there. All right, last game, and the game that people probably figure I have action on, but I actually don't. As of now, we've got Red Sox A's here. These two teams just saw each other before the break. A little sweep by the Red Sox. The Red Sox are on a big momentum push right now, which is shocking to say. I know they've been playing shitty teams, but winning is winning. The record is what it is, and it's kind of surprising to me. But I've been happy to watch. We've got 2 bullpen days actually here today in Oakland. Not by both these teams, but the Red Sox will have a bullpen day tomorrow as well. Today, they have not announced who's starting, but it seems like Nick Pivetta is going to get the bulk of the innings, which I like. He did this in the last series and pitched well. I should actually bring up his numbers for the last series, but I don't know who is starting this game yet for the Red Sox. I'd love to know if someone has that information already. And if it is Nick Pivetta, I'd be pretty annoyed because I want him to be a follower. He's been coming out of the bullpen great. And I'd really like if he did that, honestly, but we'll see. His appearance against Oakland was 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 1 home run, 8 Ks, 1 walk there coming out of the bullpen. So hoping for the follower there for him. And by the way, Penny Bomb saying it's Bernardino on Bet365. So it's good. I like that. He's been Brandon Bernardino has been pitching pretty well as of late here. So I don't hate that at all. Obviously, it's a gigantic line there as well. So can you really, take the Red Sox with confidence? I can't. Not at that super high line. We'll talk about the market here. And it's kind of tough to talk about the market since you might have just come out here. 7,000 tickets. Unsurprisingly, everyone on the Red Sox money line wise, 85% of the bets, 95% of the money on the Sox. It's the A's. What can you expect? Totals wise here, everyone on the over, 72% of bets, 73% of the money on the over. Paul Blackburn on the other side, who we know who he is, king of the first 5 innings. But he's someone I've backed a lot this year. Good or bad, we've been on him. So am I going to back him here? I don't think I can, because he did face this Red Sox team. It wasn't a start. It was one of those situations where it was a JP Sears game where they pitched really well to start. He pitched really well to start off. Sears did. And then Blackburn came in for about an inning because he needed to work before the All-Star break. They wanted to get him to throw, and it was horrible. I guess he just can't come out of the bullpen very well. Probably hasn't done it very much. It wasn't the best idea, I think. But 1 inning, 3 hits, 2 earned runs on a home run against the Red Sox that day. Do I expect him to pitch better out of the starting rotation? Sure, but I just, at the end of the day, it's the A's. If I'm betting this game, it's A's first 5, Sox full game, and I'd lean over here. But I'm not going to take anything on this game. I'm kind of just don't know who's going to pitch for the Sox. I know it's Bernardino, probably Pivetta. Maybe it'll be Chris Murphy. Who knows? I just don't trust Cora when it comes to those things, honestly. And I just think this price is a little ridiculous for my Red Sox. So I had to pass here as well. So unfortunately, as of now, I don't have any official action. I'm going to look right now and see what I'll make official. That's actually not true. I've got Cody. And I think I'll bet the over as well. So those are going to be my 2 bets here. And by the way, that's going to be hilarious. Troy Torrance saying Paul Blackburn throws a no-hitter in this situation. I would fucking laugh my ass off if that happened too. It would only be right. But before I recap my plays here, again, shout out to Dabby Cab, shout out to Picks from Dave, the unmuted mic, going to be live July 20th, this Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Miss Natasha Tush joining to talk about the life of an OnlyFans star and whatever else Dabby and Dave asked her. I'm sure it was a very interesting and enthralling interview. Because Dave has a way with the ladies. You might not, if you look at him, you'd be like, no way. But Dave knows. Dave knows. So shout out to my guy Dave and Dabby there. All right. Official action for everyone. The 2 plays I've got: Cody Bellinger, RBI plus 155 there, and Detroit Kansas City Royals over 9. At minus 123. Again, that over 9 is at Bet Online. Bovada has a 9.5. Bet Online, you get that 9 at minus 123 there. Nasty Nate saying Red Sox smash. It's going to piss me off when they do smash, and I'm not going to be on them. But it'll be all right. So those are my 2 official plays there. Londo, I know you've been asking for like 20 minutes now about money line plays for your parlays here. I don't believe you about your birthday picks for your 2 friends. Londo, you start lying about birthdays, you might catch a block, Londo. So be careful. Be careful. But my money line plays for you, my man, if I had to take them, it would be the Giants and the Rays there. And you seem like you're on the Red Sox, so I'd take those 3, but you can see how that ride. Parlays, not my specialty. I don't think you should do them, but it's okay. You can do whatever you want. Rem Most, shout out to you. I couldn't say hi to the ladies in San Antonio. Hey, he knows. He knows. He knows how to talk to those girls. And yeah, Troy, I take birthdays very seriously. Don't lie to me about birthdays. Don't lie to me. But shout out to you, Troy. Sterling, Rem, Londo, Benny, Penny Bombs, Gerald Jones, RVD 420, our newest member, the Money Liner in here. EQ, shout out to you, Jack Rosenblatt. Appreciate you for joining us as well. You come and comment on the show often, Jack. So I appreciate that, my man. Nate Dogg in here as well. Spenny, again, we appreciate you. Slow Jam, Brad Summercell, picks from Dave. Aloha East Side Rider, I believe it was. He's just Aloha East Side now in here as well. Shout out to you, my guy. It's going to be a whole lot of fun to talk about all this. Best bet, Nasty Dan, I really don't have one. I hate today's card. I guess I like Cody Bellinger RBI. His numbers against lefties are really good, but I can't really give out a plus 155 super confidently. And that Detroit Kansas City over 9 is disgusting. That is just fucking disgusting. Two of the worst offenses in baseball. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those two plays. So you can take both. You can take both for half a unit, but I don't have a specific best bet here today. Not the best card. I'm excited for tomorrow though. Believe the return of Jimmy the Bag. I haven't talked to him. I have not talked to him in a couple of days. So maybe Nut Flush and all the guys got him deep in the sauce and he'll miss his flight. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. But I will be excited to talk to Jimmy tomorrow. Pete will be joining us as well. It'll be a whole lot of fun. Again, tune into the Unmuted Mic. They'll be on today, or not today, Thursday, with Natasha Tush. So that'll be a good time. And as always, just subscribe, hit the bell to Pub Sports Radio. We've got great content going on throughout the whole year. Summer is here. Sports betting still in full flex. Baseball's doing its damn thing. Sharpie's doing a great job with Walking Dead. Go tune into his show as well. He's just the best at K-props. Just the fucking best at K-props. It's I wish I was being hyperbolic, or I wish I could say something else that doesn't sound like ridiculous. Like, no way, he can't be the best. No, he actually is the best at K-props on the internet, on the gambling community. So shout to Sharpie. Shout to everyone in the chat. I appreciate you guys. As always, Rem, this is Liverpool, not France. It does look like a rooster though. But let's have a day here, guys. 2-0 here today. Let's keep climbing into the black here. Shout out to everyone. Say hey to me on social media at Jose Bouquett, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another edition. Say hey, place.